I declare the convocation open.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा पूजिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा. Thank you.
I now request Dr. Gaurav Agrawal, Chief AI Scientist, Reliance Jio, to deliver the convocation address.
Professor Bhaskar, distinguished faculty, proud parents, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2026. Thank you for having me here. Actually, this is the first time I'm sort of on the other side of the ceremony. I mean, I've only gotten degrees, thankfully, but never been a chief guest on any of the graduation ceremony. It's an honor to stand at the red bricks of IIM Ahmedabad. This institute, like I came here yesterday night, and it has a way of making everyone feel a little bit humble, and I'm no exception. When I received the invitation to be your chief guest for your ceremony, I must admit I had a moment of pause. I sat in my office in Bangalore, looked out of the window and thought about the journey that got me here. If you had gone back in time 30 years ago, yeah, I'm old, and visited a certain small town in Uttar Pradesh by the name Saharanpur. I don't know if how many of you have heard of it. No surprises if you haven't. And found a young boy studying for his exams and told him, one day, you will be a head of AI Reliance. You will have worked at Google DeepMind. You'll be standing at IIM Ahmedabad, telling the next generation how to run the world. That boy would have laughed at you. Literally, like, I mean, what the hell are you talking about? Not because he didn't dream, but because he couldn't see it. The path was invisible, like, I mean, many of us, as when we are in our schools, colleges. And it was, to use a word, it was not the lack of dream, but opaqueness of the dream. I didn't know where I was getting to. And that is what I want to talk to you about today. Let's start at the beginning. I come from a very humble background in a small town in UP, as I already mentioned. Now, growing up in such a small town in 90s, it's very different from how things are in the connected world we live in today. We didn't have high-speed internet. In fact, we didn't even have a phone. Thankfully, no digression, so you could study. We didn't have roadmaps to Silicon Valley. We didn't have LinkedIn to stalk successful careers and reverse engineer what we could do to get there. We just had the immediate reality. In such an environment, you have to develop a specific survival mechanism. You still want to dream, coming from a humble background in a small town in a state that no one cares about. I mean, you learned that you cannot obsess about a destination which is probably 1,000 miles away, because you can't even see it. Just imagine if I had worried about my childhood, worrying about, will I ever get a degree from an IIT? Will I get a PhD from a top US college? Will I work for a tech giant like Google? I would have been paralyzed by the sheer distance of that goal, the impossibleness of that goal. Instead, looking back, it's very easy to look back and, give the philosophy a name, but it was like a headlights philosophy. Trust me, I had no idea when I was doing this thing. I was just doing my thing, giving my exams, hating some subjects, still working hard towards them. But imagine like I'm driving a car, or in my case actually, as I was telling on Indo, I commute by cycle in Bangalore. Imagine me cycling on a dark, foggy winter morning. It doesn't happen in Bangalore, but let's assume. The fog is so thick that you can only see 10 meters ahead. You can't see the destination. You can't see the horizon. You can only see the patch of the road 10 meters ahead of you. Logic says, are you sure? You don't know what's ahead. But the rider in me is like, if you can see 10 meters, let's just travel 10 meters and then see what happens. Anyway, coming from a humble background, I didn't have a choice. So it's not like I chose it. It's at least make that move. And hoping that once you cover the 10 meters, the next 10 meters will become visible and so on, right? Just a hope. No one guaranteed it. And if you keep doing it, hopefully, someday, things will work out and you will probably end up doing something that you are slightly proud of. That was my early life. I pushed hard towards that visible goal, the next exam, the next project, the next concept, while being largely opaque, the same word now, about the distant future. I didn't have any 10-year plan. Forget a 10-year plan. I didn't even have a 2-year plan. I probably had a 10-hour plan. And that kept me going, thankfully. I didn't worry about it, like where am I going. It doesn't mean that one should not have a 10-year plan. Sorry, don't get me wrong. I didn't have it, but I'm just saying if you don't have it, don't worry. If you have it, great. You should follow it. So don't get me wrong on that. From there, fast forward a few years, the 10-meter strategy landed me after undergrad, after PhD in US, to probably the summit of the AI world, if you want to call it, at Google DeepMind. That's, probably one of the best places to do AI. I was working with the smartest researchers on the planet, just few thousands of them. We were solving problems that most are afraid to even address. By every conventional metric, salary, prestige, comfort, it felt like I had arrived. But I'm the person I am, I wanted to change it because you arrive, but what do you do then? Right? You have to do something. I remember sitting there as a Google DeepMind member, realizing while I loved the research, loved the colleagues, loved the prestige, I was missing the visceral connection to impact in my own country. I wanted to build in India, innovate in India. What's the point of doing a PhD if I can't do create some innovation in India under an Indian banner? I wanted technology to touch lives, not just write papers. So 2 years ago, literally, I did something that looked completely irrational to most people around me. I left Google DeepMind. In fact, all my colleagues are like, are you nuts? Why are you doing this? Didn't make any sense. But I didn't leave for a bigger offer. I just started a boutique AI R&D company called Ananas Labs. And there's another lesson, actually. Now, looking back, you imagine that I'm talking about Ananas Labs maybe because it made me a billionaire. That didn't happen. In fact, it was a failure. I left the summit of AI research to start Ananas Labs, which was by all practical means a failure. If you look at Ananas on stock market, you won't find it because we never rang a bell at NSC. That period, leaving the safety of a giant like Google to build something fragile of my own, just driven by a dream to do innovation in India, was probably the most critical dot in my career. It's hard to not invoke Steve Jobs when you give a graduation speech, so most of us would have seen it, heard it. So it's the same dot I'm talking about. It taught me things DeepMind never could. Taught me how to sell, slightly unsuccessfully, but still it did. Taught me how to survive without a brand name supporting me. Taught me that a title is something you rent at a job, but your skills are something you own, that are with you. As Steve Jobs said, you cannot connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking backward. When I was struggling with Ananas, I didn't think, this is great prep for my future. No, I was just stressed, as anyone will be. Things were not working out. I was just trying to make it work. But today, as I stand at Jio, building AI for billion Indians, as the head of AI R&D there, I can tell you with absolute certainty, I could not do this job better without the discipline I learned at DeepMind, And I could not do this job without the scrappy builder spirit I learned at Ananas. The dots connect, actually. But only because I was willing to walk the fog again. Like, it made no logical sense to leave Google and try Ananas and fail at it, but now it does, actually. That brings me to the present and the work we do at Geo. It's probably one of the most exciting phases of technology, thanks to whatever is happening with AI. And it's nowhere more exciting than in India. The reason is we in India are used to leapfrogging. We didn't have landlines, so we got mobile phones. Right? We didn't have enough fiber internet connections, so we have data. I mean, still, I think people have more mobile data connections than the fiber connections. So we tend to leapfrog in everything. At Geo, we are asking questions. How do we make AI accessible to a grandmother in a village who can't read text but can speak to her phone? This is the difference between AI as buzzword and AI as a tool for nation building. For me, like being at Reliance, leading AI research is exactly my solemn contribution to my country, really. Not AI as a buzzword, but doing something that changes the trajectory of this country. And this is where you come in, the graduating class of 2026. You are graduating from IIM Ahmedabad. You are the elite. You are the best. You have the best analytical toolkit in the world. But I want to challenge you. I hope you don't just use your skills to optimize click-through rates. I did that too in the early part of my career. But I hope you don't stop there. I hope you use your skills to solve the problems around you in India. They are messy. They are unstructured. They are opaque. But they are the ones worth solving. When we build something, irrespective of the place you are at, you probably don't know the business model on day one. You don't always know if the tech will work perfectly. But we know the need is there, the desire is there, the passion is there, and just trust the headlights. So what does this mean for you? You are graduating in a world which is fundamentally uncertain. In fact, when someone comes to me and asks that they are going for a PhD in AI these days, I'm like, I don't know. 5 years down the line, what will AI as a field look like? Everyone is talking about generative AI, AGI, and the displacement of jobs. You probably are asking yourselves, now what? Like, you are graduating. What is the future of business? What will your career look like in 5 years, 10 years? I have no idea. While I have been doing AI for 25 plus years, I don't think I have any idea about your career trajectory. I don't think even you probably know. The future is opaque, as always, nothing new. My simple advice is don't let the opacity of the future paralyze the utility of your present. Stop trying to predict. Focus on the craft. Be a builder, whether you're finance, marketing, or tech. Get your hands dirty. Understand the nuts and bolts. Trust the fog. Trust the headlights. Don't worry about the opacity. It will get you somewhere as long as you are driven to get somewhere. If you had shown me the future when I was that boy in UP, I might have been too scared to start. The uncertainty, the opacity is not a bug, it is a feature as part of growing up, doing things. As you walk out of these gates, you'll feel the pressure to have it all figured out. Ignore that pressure. Why do you care? Remember me as a small boy from UP. Remember the path from a small town to deep mine to Geo. It was not a straight line. It was crazy zigzag. It was a series of 10-meter sprints in the fog. Please turn on your headlights. Trust whatever the immediate visibility they show. Focus on those immediate steps. Push hard. And trust that one day you will look back, the fog will lift. And you will see that you have connected the dots to build a masterpiece. Your own masterpiece, not a masterpiece decided by someone else for you. These red bricks have never promised certainty, but they've always promised responsibility. Congratulations, class of 2026. Go build the future. Thank you.
Candidates of the blended mode 16-month postgraduate program in Advanced Business Analytics, please rise. The candidates will individually receive their diplomas from the director IIMA, as I call their names, then return to their seats and remain standing in front of their chairs until all the candidates of the program have received their diplomas and the director IIMA has conferred the diplomas on them. The candidates would then bow and sit down. May I request you to please. Aditya Tonage. Akshit Mittal. Amey Sharma. Anmol Sarna. Birendra Kumar Ashok Kumar Yadav. Vishwajit Panda. Hitendra Mohan Singh Negi. Hitesh Chelawat. Jitin Chandran C.J. Krishna Ajay Kumar Mistry. Kritik Datta. Madhavi Singh. Mainak Varadwaj. Mayank Chandola. Medhi Charla Anagha Sai Naga Durga Devi. Medhi Charla Ramakrishna Siva Naga Sai. Nil Gupta. Nishant Kumar Patel. Nitika Varadwaj. Noel Sabu. Pratik Biswas. Pratik Desai. Rishika Patwa. Sachidananda Panigrahi. Sanskruti Guru. Saransh Upadhyaya. Shakti Prasanna Mahapatra. Shivam Kaushik. Shreyas Shivakumar Shamanur. Shruti Agrawal. Surabhi Ambastha. Suryank Krishna. Tareni Prasad Pradhan. Varun Harish Jhala. Varun Singh. Vinit Shukla.
By the authority given to me by the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad,
No,
Chairperson,
Okay.
Board of Governors, I confer on you the postgraduate diploma in Advanced Business Analytics, and I charge you with that in your life, by word and deed, you prove yourself worthy of it. A very good evening to all of you. I would like to welcome Dr. Gaurav Agrawal, Chief AI Scientist, Reliance Jio. It's our pleasure to thank Dr. Gaurav Agrawal, Chief AI Scientist, Reliance Jio, to IMA, who delivered the convocation address in this e-postgraduate diploma in Advanced Business Analytics program. All the graduating students, my faculty colleagues, the executive committee members, and the ePGP program chairpersons. Dr. Gaurav Agrawal had successful stint in Google Research, Yahoo Labs, his own startups, which you already were made familiar by him. Today he heads Reliance Jio, an important initiative taken by Reliance Jio in the area of AI, which is one of the most important projects which is trying to put India in the map of AI frontier. I would also like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to graduating class of ePGD-ABA. Your dedication, discipline, and perseverance deserves the recognition. And today marks the successful culmination of your efforts. Your batch of 41 students represent a rich diversity of professional backgrounds and domains. You brought experience from industries such as consulting, retail, e-commerce, advertising, telecom, banking, financial services, and insurance. Also from FMCG, many of you are from IT and manufacturing sectors, among others. Remember that this diversity of yours is a strength, which will help you add multidisciplinary perspective to the business analytics in your future professional career as well. In analytics, solutions are rarely one-dimensional. Business challenges are always complex. interconnected, and deeply contextual. Having exposure to different industries and functions enable you to ask better questions, interpret data in a more meaningful way, and design solutions that are robust and practical. It is also important to note that this kind of diversity reflects how analytics teams work in the real world. Today, analytics-driven organizations bring together the professionals from various domains to work collaboratively. Such teams comprise people from different backgrounds, and we come together to create the insights that are both technically strong as well as useful in the business decision making. Your graduation from the program comes at a very relevant time. Interestingly, in the past 2 years, India has emerged as a global leader in demand for data analytics jobs, with a notably very high share of analytics and AI roles. Over the past 6 years, the share of data analytics job postings originating from India has grown for more than 50%. This clearly highlights how central data has become to the business, governance, and society. Organizations across the sectors are relying on analytics to improve efficiency, manage risk, personalize services, and promote innovations. Therefore, the knowledge, skill you have gained through this program are highly valuable and will serve you well in your professional journey. The ePGD-ABA program has equipped you with a strong analytical foundation, exposure to advanced tools and techniques, and the ability to connect the data insights with business strategy. These capabilities are today in very high demand. We all know that we are living in the era where data has become the backbone of decision making. From pricing, supply chains, to customer engagements, to public policy, data informs about every single strategic choice. Advances in computing power, cloud platforms, and artificial intelligence have further accelerated the shift. However, as the volume and speed of data increases, so does the responsibility that comes along with it. You remember that in 80s and 90s, we talked about data, we talked about information, and then people begin to talk about knowledge extraction out of the data. And that's where people begin to think that wisdom can also be derived from that knowledge. Although I do not know whether we have reached the stage of the wisdom, but knowledge is certainly being extracted out of the data, and when you have a pool of knowledge extracted, probably it can be foreseen in the future, we will be able to even provide the wisdom through the data analytics and artificial intelligence. As it was stated by McCarthy way back in 50s and envisioned by him that one day data will be the driver or engine through which the wisdom will be emulated. Now, that time, many of the people did not believe. Many of people dismissed it as a what we call the fiction. But in 60s, there was a rat race, and AI was being talked about everywhere. What we talk about generative AI, actually many people did the PhD in generative AI in that era. Those days, there was a programming language was born called Lisp. That was also a creation of a McCarthy's early interventions in the AI field. And through Lisp language, you could generate the stories. The stories were limited because of the computing power, not because of the imagination and ability to process the data. But the problem was the computing power could not spit out and could not create that many options and to create that many probabilistic outcomes out of the stories. But it did write the unique stories for the people who wrote the Lisp story writer programs. Now, at that point onward, we have progressed because the computing field progressed. AI went into a winter, and many people call AI went through two winters, one in 50s and another in 80s. The wave which was brought out by the Lisp programming language and AI revolution at that point of time was further put on the back foot, mainly because the computing power could not support the processing of that kind of data. And consequence, as we all know, was that people thought it's a way of a fiction, it'll never be materialized. But little did you know, and little people knew that computing always works at an exponential pace. What we call that every 18 months, the processing power doubled, and if you multiply that over a 10, 18-month periods, the computing power became phenomenal. What we were talking about megabytes and gigabytes of data processing, today's computers were able to process terabytes of data in a near real-time basis. And that brought the new generation of artificial intelligence. 2010 onward, there has been another emphasis placed on the artificial intelligence. And we are beginning to see its impact. Whether it has been the modern robotics or what we call the augmented arms, through which the manufacturing sector is intensely modifying itself, or you look at what has come to be known in past 3 years as a generative AI, or launched, made popular by OpenAI, or in a popular form known as a ChatGPT. There are multiple models available out there. And you have seen, after the announcement of OpenAI's ChatGPT, I think there are plenty of competing models which are in the marketplace, all having their own large language models and processing power capability, which also says that transition to the AI or impact of AI in the manufacturing, in the service, or in any form of the corporate field is not far behind. We may have thought that today ChatGPT is born and maybe we have a decade or more than a decade to transform ourselves. The time has come now, and there's no going back. Maybe in next 5 years we'll see the whole workplace completely transformed. And that's where you're graduating with right kind of inputs. You will be able to drive the growth of that sector. You will be participating in that revolution which is going along with us right now. With this, I would say that we are in position as of now to put you together that where your journey will take you, it depends on you itself. As academic institutions, we are beginning to do our job. You are our first, I would say, product in that domain where we are contributing to the AI field. We would like to continue to produce more and more of AI professionals. The world needs this talent. IIM Ahmedabad, through you, is adding to that talent pool to a limited extent. It needs sharp minds guided by the sound principles. It needs leaders who can translate data into insights, insights into the strategy, and a strategy into the lasting value for the business communities, as well as the society. Congratulations to all of you. May your journey ahead be purposeful, enriching, and transformative. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem.
I declare the convocation closed.
Hello. All of you, please join for the high tea. It is in the cricket ground. Okay.